NYPA, it's time to start the show, so search for the squad and listen out for the promo with the West Wild Spitter, spin his web into a chokehold. Make it unfold, 5 o'clock. Who gives a damn of what your man to say? We spittin' live wireless, leave we shot with the gamma ray. Ain't no runner up, cause it ain't the closest to candidate. Our blocks is deep and you draw like Japanese anime. It's just us and the rest, news off the hottest press. Kyle Holton, Philly West, reppin' with the legends, classic interview session, politics, sports segment, live phone, call up a question, it's the NYPA, 95 connection, real people, ain't no scripted cute card for direction, just team on their grind time till it's all perfection, throw it past the satellite so you can catch reception, so touch ground with us, we kill challenges, and murder it for every number on your calendars, from west to the boogie down the Greyhound in this, we Google Spot, Anchor Podcast, pocket this.
Welcome everyone to another episode of NYPA Entertainment Radio. I hope y'all can hear me. I'm having a bit of connection issue here, so I do apologize. The Wi-Fi, you know how that goes. So hopefully I came through clear. Audio might be a little glitchy in the beginning, but you know how Wi-Fi is. They all get wonky every now and then. Connected, not connected. All this money we pay, and especially Comtrash. Xfinity Comtrash is the worst. Anywho, I'm not here to bash Comtrash. I'm here to start the show of NYPA Entertainment Radio, the final season, coming down to the final episodes. Next week, I will have the date that will have the final episode of NYPA Entertainment Radio, and tentatively the premiere date of Who is Kyle Graham in 2026. So that will be next week. I'm already working behind the scenes, getting up the new logo for Who is Kyle Graham, and I got the new email address up, and then a lot of social media changes I have to do to transition from NYPA to Who is Kyle Graham as I close this book and pack it away, and it'll be this part of a great history and memory or what have you. But it's coming to a close, and I'll let you know next week the final date for this podcast and the new podcast coming in 2026. So looking forward to that. Until then, press the subscribe button on YouTube, Spotify, and let everybody know about NYPA Entertainment Radio that as it transition over to Who is Kyle Graham in 2026. So hopefully, like what I have in mind for Who is Kyle Graham, I saved it. I wanted to do for this show, but I was like, since I'm wrapping it up, why bother? I'd rather do it for the new show, what I have in mind, and the guests I have in mind on the show. So I'd rather save it for the new one. So I'm looking forward to that in 2026, and presenting it to you guys who have in mind on appearing on Who is Kyle Graham in 2026. Looking forward to that. But until then, we still have a few episodes left of NYPA Entertainment Radio. So without further ado, let's get to talking. All right. So we all know past week or so, couple of weeks, about the whole Diddy documentary on Netflix. And there's been a lot of stuff going on. A lot of naysayers and people cheering it on and so forth. So I have a couple of things here. I got I would say double bubble, but I have some stuff that ties into the whole Diddy 50 Cent thing. Let's start with TOURE, who is a journalist. I've known for years with MTV and Vibe, and like this, you cover hip hop news and all that stuff. TOURE pushes back on 50 Cent's Diddy doc over Tupac Quad Studio shooting. TOURE is pushing back on what he believes is a misleading implication in 50 Cent's Netflix documentary about Diddy, specifically surrounding the 1994 shooting of Tupac Shakur at New York's Quad Recording Studios. In a recent Instagram video, the veteran journalist and author addressed a moment in the documentary that he says leaves viewers with the impression that Diddy played a role in the Quad Studio shootings. TOURE made it clear that while he has no interest in defending Combs, he felt compelled to correct what is described as an inaccurate narrative presented in the documentary. Quote, 50 got y'all thinking that Puff is the man behind Pac getting shot Quad Studios thing. No, 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 Toure said. I will never defend Puff, but I will defend the truth. Toure explained that at the time of the shooting, he was closely following Pac's rape trial and was seeing the rapper nearly every day. According to Toure, the setup that led to the shooting did not originate with Diddy or the Notorious B.I.G., despite their presence in this building that night. Instead, Toure pointed to James Jimmy Henchman Roseman, who is currently incarcerated, as the central figure behind the attack. He said Henchman was managing rapper Lil Sean, who was signed to Uptown Records at the time, and repeatedly contacted Tupac to lure him to Quad Studios with the promise of a $7,000 payment for a feature. Toure noted that Tupac was financially distressed, was in financial distress during the period due to mounting legal fees and lack of live shows while his trial was ongoing, which made the offer appealing. When Tupac arrived at the studio, 3 armed men reportedly confronted him and others in the lobby. Everybody else got on the ground, but Pac refused, Toure said, recounting the incident, so they put 5 bullets in him. According to Toure, the shooter was Dexter Isaac, a street figure who has publicly admitted to carrying out the attack. He added that Isaac said he was hired by Jimmy Henchman, who has also acknowledged his role in orchestrating the setup. While Diddy and Biggie were present at Quad Studios that night, Toure emphasized that their presence alone should not be interpreted as involvement, noting that multiple resident producers were recording in the building at the time. Toure also pointed out Tupac's own lyrics as evidence that he understood who was responsible. He referenced the lines from Against All Odds in which Tupac rapped about being set up and specifically mentioned Henchman, framing the song as a direct reflection of his understanding of the events. Quote, I understand that 50 wants to come and intercept y'all with a new narrative, Toure concluded. No. This is what happened. 50 Cent has not publicly responded to Toure's comments. His documentary, which revisits allegations and controversy surrounding Diddy, continues to spark debate across hip-hop as long-standing narratives from the 1990s as are re-examined by a new generation of viewers. Now, which is interesting, originally I said on the show I wasn't going to watch a documentary for reasons. It was just a pile on. And again, I'm not defending, but like I said last week and before, the story, all people who would tell these stories, heinous things that this man did, y'all watched him do it. Put that to the side. But then there's stories in real time in the 90s that were hit the publications that I remember, like the Quad City Studios. I had young people come up to me, and it's a new generation of viewers, like they said, they don't know shit. So they just like go off of TikTok and so Diddy did this, and they're telling me that Diddy set up Pac at Quad Studios, and I'm like, that's not what happened. I remember from that, I was around. I was like, nah, that wasn't that. That it wasn't him, and I knew about the Jimmy Henchman thing and all that stuff. I was like, no, that's that. He didn't have no hand in that. He was there. People put poison in Pac's ear and said, try to convince him and said that Big had something to do with it and all that stuff and so forth. But like, it wasn't them. And then of course, it's a lot of stuff that I kind of dispute. Again, not defending Puff or anything, but in terms of he had his hand in killing Tupac. Yeah, like the man had his hand in everything. Like he killed everybody and part of every assassination in history. You know what I mean? He was there when Lincoln got killed and all. Like he just had his hands and shit. So when Toure said this, I was like, I remember that. A lot of stuff these young people come up and say to me, I'm like, that's not true. Just because someone's telling you a story doesn't mean it's always true per se. And it's funny, like years of not knowing who did what to when and how, all of a sudden everybody figured it out, and there was one person who did it. This whole time, walking in plain sight, he killed off all these people, And now people are coming out and saying he did it, and all that stuff, but never was convicted of said crime. But like I said, there's a lot of stuff to debate uh, in here. Again, on certain things, not everything, but certain things. Not what he did, like really committed to sort of beating up people and all that stuff, but more like the '90s shootings and all that stuff. It was like, no, that's not true. And even, I mean, it's just been coming out like this. A lot of just, I don't know. It's a lot of people who lived in real time who are not part of the documentary, who names comes up or a part of it is kind of like, no, that's not how that happened, or whatever the case may be. It's a very sloppy ordeal, and of course, these people suing Netflix like I think $1 billion for airing it and having and releasing video that against his consent, and it's crazy. It's crazy. And it just comes down to, in my opinion, which goes into my next two articles, of one person who has a vindictive like thing against Diddy, and that's 50 Cent. It's a personal thing. Like, this is more personal than anything. It's more, I think it's more personal. I think it's, in my opinion, I don't think he's doing it to help anyone but himself, but just to bring somebody down that he does not like or never could stand. And it's a pile on. And again, I'm not defending anything. I see what I see. It is just like, this is a personal thing. He's not here to help the public. He's not here to help the victims. He's here to like to laugh and like, I'm gonna piss on you and stomp you out. I got you now, type thing, right? So this takes me to the whole beef with Marlon Wayans and 50 Cent, right? So now I will start with, here it is. Actually, it's one. I thought it was two. It was only one. 50 Cent issues a stern warning for Marlon Wayans over Diddy doc criticism. Marlon Wayans recently took issue with 50 Cent's new Netflix documentary about Diddy, Sean Combs' The Reckoning. 50 Cent has fired back at Marlon and his criticism of his new documentary of Netflix, Sean Combs' The Reckoning. In doing so, 50 shared a picture of Wayans from the iconic '04 film White Chicks, Keep My Name Out Your Mouth, Boy, he captioned the post. Wayans explained his issues with the project during an appearance on another show. Quote, you can create any narrative as a producer and as a storyteller, he explained. He asked, when asked about the documentary, I can create any narrative. It doesn't mean it's true. I can get an interview. I can do this. I can get footage, and I can make you think this about a person. That doesn't necessarily mean it's true. 50 and Puff have a long-term beef. It's personal. It's between him and Puff, but before it's between the both of them, it was between them and God. Puff's down on his luck, and 50's kicking a man when he's down. If luck ever turns on 50, you got to be careful that you what you put out. There's a karma to every action. Netflix released Sean Combs' The Reckoning last week, and it's been getting tons of attention. 50 Cent served as executive producer, while Alex Stapleton directed the series. It features tons of celebrity appearances from Mark Curry, the rapper, not the comedian, I'll Be Sure, Aubrey O'Day, and more. Diddy's team has already responded to the allegations presented in Sean Combs' Reckoning. In a statement, they called into questioning Netflix's decision to work with 50 Cent, considering his long-standing beef with Diddy. They wrote, 50 Cent is a long-time public adversary who has mocked Mr. Combs for decades, posted fabricated accusations, and publicly celebrated his legal challenges. Even Mr. Jackson had admitted he was shocked Sean ever filmed some of these moments when underscores of the footage is being exploited for entertainment rather than presented with fairness or context. It's a lot to unpack here. There's a lot that goes into that. I don't know if I'm going to finish it because it's just, again, lopsided. One side, I'm not defending nothing. And I understand what Marlon is saying. At the end of the day, like, the man is already down on his luck. He's done. It's a wrap, and you are kicking him while he's down. He's giving an opinion. Well, you can't give an opinion towards 50 Cent because he's going to take you as you shitting with him. Shitting on him. Excuse me. And it's kind of like a bully mentality. If you roll with me and agree with everything I said, then I'm gonna come after you. It's kind of a bully thing. And they've been going back and forth. And listen, I don't know. You're going up against a sharp-minded comedian who comes from a family of even more sharp-minded comedians. You understand what I'm saying? Like, keep it classy. Let's keep it whatever. But at the end of the day, stop beefing. It's not that serious. Somebody had an opinion, and you don't have to like the opinion. You just keep it moving. That was his opinion about the thing, like kicking a man when he's down. He's not defending him. He's just like, I think that's wrong. Like, he's down on his luck. Let it go. Because one day, God forbid, something happens and he gets himself into a situation. Karma's a bitch. And karma does work that way. You understand what I'm saying? So I see what he's saying. And I don't think it wasn't a negative shot at 50 at all. He was just saying, like, you got to be careful with karma. Because right now, you're kind of laughing and pointing the finger when someone is down, whether you like them or not. When the blink of an eye, snap of a finger, your empire can come tumbling down for a mistake you might make or a decision you might make that might not go over well with others or whatever the case may be. And listen, we should be able to, in general, express our opinions about something without getting heated or threatened or bullied or anything like that. It's an opinion. Everyone has an opinion. Don't mean they're right. Don't mean they're wrong. It's, everyone has an opinion. Like assholes, they all stink. You know what I mean? So I understand both sides, and it's at the end of the day, it's like not that serious. Like there are a lot of, like I said, there are a lot of plot holes throughout the whole documentary, and I question a lot of things. But like it is targeted to a new generation that pretty much believe anything that wasn't around that time. And the generation, if it's on social media and enough people say it, it's believable. And even though people were there, they can twist it and skew it, and you can change the narrative. Again, not defending nobody. I'm just giving my opinion about the whole thing. The beefing part between him and Marlon, like, y'all two guys are great. You guys are brilliant at what you do. Come together, work with each other, let this shit go, and then that's that. Do I think the documentary is a personal attack? Yes, I do. I think he is kicking him when he's down. He doesn't like the guy. He's going in. Like, he's going in on him. You know what I mean? Like, when you beefing a war with someone and your adversary is weakened, shit, you're gonna stomp on them, piss on them, kick them the whole nine to get a win on him or her or whatever. Hopefully, like the beef between him and between Marlon and 50 end soon, and just let it go and just squash it. It really is not that serious. It's funny. I ain't gonna lie. Both sides are funny. I ain't gonna lie. I'm kind of curious to see how further it's gonna go, but hopefully it doesn't. Keep it on social media. Keep it classy. Keep it cool. You don't have to get no physical altercations, nothing like that. Don't let anybody else jump into it, and it's whatever. But again, like I said, I do question the documentary and those who are involved who've seen this happen years ago, and also you want to bitch and cry about it now. Again, I say shame on you for letting this monster wreak havoc this whole time, and now you want to bitch and cry about it and pull up old emails and letters and stuff. The man is a human being. He's not a god. Same thing with 50 Cent. He's a human being. He's not a god. And nothing to be fearful of. You know what I mean? Like, it is what it is. I don't know if I'm going to continue it. Like I said, I think it's kind of lopsided and it's a little bit skewed. And again, it's those who could have stopped them, but for reasons they tried not to because they wanted their own fame and fortune. It's ridiculous. And for the new generation that's watching it, do your research, look into it, do your due diligence before you start to believe in anything people post in a documentary or post on social media. Do your research. Really dig deep and do your due diligence. and form your opinion that way. Because it's weird having people who was around then telling me that I'm wrong when I remember in real time, like, that's not what happened. And that's not how it went down. And that wasn't who's behind X, Y, and Z. You know what I mean? Like, and so I'm like, you telling me like all some journalists and a hip hop legend and a director solve all these mysteries in research after all the great geniuses behind the law could not. Anyway, I digress. But like I said, everyone has an opinion, and I think Marlon was doing his opinion. And, if you're not with him, he's gonna feel as though you're going against him. He's going to attack you and so forth. So hopefully it'll end. We'll see. Let it go. It's not that serious. It's just someone's opinion. Like I have my opinion, and you can disagree with me. You can agree with me. It doesn't matter. There's no right or wrong to that. You know what I mean? All right, staying with Marlon. Marlon Wayans responds to criticism after flubbing Golden Globe nominee's name. I'm not. I'm not sure a lot of them know that they were nominated. He joked, and we'll get into the context of that. Marlon Wayans is well aware that he flubbed several names while announcing the 2026 slate of the Golden Globes nominations. For the most part, Monday morning broadcast revealing the Golden Globes nominees went off without a hitch. Wayans and actor Sky P. Marshall served as celebrity presenters, ushering in the major contenders in the ongoing awards race. But more than once, Wayans had trouble pronouncing the names of this year's nominees. Cool. I'm not sure a lot of them know that they were nominated. Wayans joked hours after the broadcast. The Helm actor also shared that, in his defense, there weren't much time to familiarize himself with the nominees prior to the announcement. We were given about 3 minutes beforehand. Among the names Wayans mispronounced was Swedish composer Ludwig Göransson, who was nominated for his work on Sinners, and Elle Fanning, who got a Best Supporting Actress nod for Sentimental Value. Wayans also stumbled over several of the contributors to the K-pop Demon Hunters nominated track Golden. The composers included, forgive me on this one, I can see how. Jung Gayu Kwak, Yuhan Lee, Hee Dong Nam, Ji Young Hoon Seo, Park Hong Jun, Kim Eung Jai, and Mark Sonablick. That was easy. Mark Sonablick. Well, anyway, after struggling to read those names, Wayans tried to lighten the mood, quipping, "Somebody, mama at home right now is going what? Who?" Wayne's partner on the broadcast, Marshall, told the outlet that she was worried about such flubs herself and practiced the pronunciations of top contenders ahead of Monday's announcements. I love the festival season and so a lot of the buzzworthy projects and creatives were already top on my list as far as my projections because I'm a fan, she said. So when the Golden Globes called to ask me to actually say the nominees' names on television, I was extremely nervous. She had, I just don't like not knowing people's names because I value the breakthrough. I want to make sure I'm saying Lee Byung Hung properly and with confidence because I know his work, not just because I learned the pronunciation. What do I throw somebody under the bus, guy? That said, she could sympathize with Wayne's flaws. Marlon is so comfortable and so confident, and he understands that this is all for fun, she said, and maybe I need to lighten up. He's a veteran, right? And I'm arriving to the stage for the first time. Wayne's also got some support from Golden Globe executives such as Glenn Weiss, who told the outlet, I was sitting there so uneasy thinking to myself, wow, she got some really easy names and he got all the hard names together. But the proof that we don't know what the nominations are. Makes sense. The producer Ricky Kirshner added, that's why I'm glad I'm not doing the announcements. The 83rd Golden Globe ceremony, hosted by returning MC Nikki Glazer, will air Sunday, January 11th, 8 p.m. on CBS. Golden Globes, look, Michael B. Jordan, Dwayne Johnson, are some of the nominees are being nominated for the Golden Globes. So usually is a segue to nomination for an Oscar role. So Dwayne Johnson for The Fighting Machine, Michael B. Jordan for Sinners, who I think definitely should win, playing dual parts. She get nominated twice actually. Uh, uh, um, Coogler should be nominated for director and writer for Sinners. Sinners is an awesome film. I haven't seen it yet. I've seen the Smashing Machine with Dwayne Johnson. I heard that's good. I do want to check that joint out. Now I can see I had trouble with the names also, and I'm just reading it cold. So it happens. A lot of names. It's he didn't do it on purpose. It's hard to pronounce the names, and even if you had enough time, you're still nervous, and it's still difficult to say. Hell, my name is Kyle. People still call me Cal or Kyle, like I'm a damn fucking animal or something. You know what I mean? Graham is in my last name. Graham, hyphenated. I what are you gonna do? You know what I mean? It happens. But I don't think, like I said, I don't think he did on purpose. And it was I was a little nervous reading the names to you guys just a few seconds ago. Um, they're difficult names at times. Certain names are just difficult to pronounce. You want to get it right and you want to say it correctly, and then I'm sure he's not the first one to mispronounce someone's name during the Golden Globes nominations or in general. So ease up on it. It's not that serious. It happens. And Marlon being Marlon has a great mind, and with great uh, rapport and comebacks and so forth, and it happens. And you hear and we hear what one executive producer said, like, this makes it great because you don't know who's going to be nominated. You see the names for the first time, whether it's a few minutes or an hour ahead, whatever. I like the way Sky kind of just gradually threw Marlon under the bus and then kind of pulled him back out after he got ran over. It was like, well, he didn't mean to. After he got like skid marks all on him and shit. Yeah, way to go, Sky. But yeah, it's difficult, and I can imagine the world watching and you trying to pronounce people's names. It's difficult. It is, and I think there was no malice behind that. He pronounced it and got through it. They knew they got nominated, so that's all that matters. Moving on. Let's see. Oh, I got a Busta Rhymes double bubble. Busta Rhymes double bubble. Double as I think of it. Anyway, if y'all let me know if y'all see this joint, because I seen it online. It caught me by surprise. Thought it was fake. So Busta Rhymes curses out kid who calls him Tracy Morgan in wild exchange. Okay. Sorry, I had to pop up. Busta Rhymes, Trevor George Smith Jr. Damn, he gave his whole government name in this article. Clapped back at a troll during a recent event, and it was caught on camera. The artist appeared at an art basel Miami at the art basel Miami over the weekend and paused to take a photo with a Gen Z TikTok influencer. The exchange immediately got awkward. Quote, "Is Tracy Morgan out here?" The TikToker said, seen in the clip. The rapper was not pleased to be mistaken for the 30 Rock and Saturday Night Live alum. Wait, what you say? He asked the young man. I'm asking you a question. I ain't calling you out. I don't understand. The break your neck rapper said, added, that's not the only. That's the only way I can understand by asking questions. I was taking a picture to show you love, but you trying to be funny. TikTok replied, "I'm not trying to be funny at all." The Grammy-nominated hip hop star replied, "What? Like, what do you mean? Tracy's my boy." The prankster tried to tell him everyone was saying Tracy. Buster replied, "I didn't hear nobody say Tracy. You're the only one that said it. You don't play with a grown man, little boy. That's how people got. That's how people get fucked up." The video published, the the video published online also shows Kenny Brooks, a TikToker known as Funny Salesman, in the crowd. It wasn't clear if he was participating in the prank, but he left with the TikToker after the infraction. I mean interaction. Excuse me, I can read. In a TikTok posted Monday, the internet personally denied involvement and said, I don't know what happened. I wasn't there, even though his presence was shown on camera. Little bitch. What a bitch, dude. On Reddit, one Reddit comment complained the video of the incident to be hard to watch, while another person remarked, "Yeah, I see it. Gotta know who you talking to though." Not a fan of these. Not a fan of these garbage creators, but Busta Rhymes does have a little of Tracy Morgan in him, and apparently takes himself way too seriously. Another comment. That's a young person. Let me stop there. That's the end of it. My man who said he wasn't there, funny salesman, and he was there. What a bitch these old Gen Zs are. So he called Busta Rhymes Tracy Morgan because Busta had a little pudge, had a pudge and all that stuff, and I could see it, whatever. And the whole thing, you can't take somebody seriously. That's because no one's talking to you like that. See, these young motherfuckers don't know shit. That's how you get fucked up. You know what I mean? My man's being nice to you, like he said. He's shaking your hand, he's smiling, and you want to fuck with him. He's a little young punk. And you think it's funny. That's an old triple OG, GG, old triple OG. You don't fuck with Busta Rhymes. You know what I mean? You don't fuck with any old head, black, white, or whatever. You don't come at him and think you're going to crack a joke in front of people and get away with it thinking it's cool. That's not. Now, Busta put him in his place. He could have laid hands on him, but that's a minor. It's a little kid. He'd get in trouble. But you can't think that it's cool. Like, oh, you take him too seriously. All right, let's flip the script, money. Grip the person that said that comment. What if that was you in front of people and somebody point out a flaw in you and compared you to someone? Would you like it? No, you wouldn't. So shut the fuck up. Because at the end of the day, that little kid was wrong. Like, it wasn't, he's being nice. He didn't have to. And then you like, oh no, everyone was saying it. None of everyone was saying nothing. I seen the clip. You said it, thinking he's gonna laugh and go along with it, and you get your views up and high five and some pussy laugh. Like, yeah, I clown Busta Rhymes. No, nay, that's not how it happened, young boy. That's how you do get fucked up. And if he was younger or back in the day or laws a little more looser, he'd have smashed you right on the spot, like bust your ass up, because you clearly was making fun of him. And nothing against Tracy Morgan, nothing like that. And I could see it, but even though you see it, you don't say it. You don't comment on it. You don't point out people's flaws. You might be sensitive about that. You never know. And then to cover it up and try to play him for a fool, like, nah, I would just, I would just, and he backpedaling like a little bitch. And it's like, dude, you shouldn't have said it to begin with. Like, why would you test that man like that? What made you think in your mind it's okay to talk to a triple OG like that, whether it's Buster or whoever, and think it's cool, like, yeah, I'm a TikToker. See, that's wrong with this fucking generation nowadays. You guys think it's cool to try to bring the ugly side out of OGs and triple OGs, whether it's black, white, male, or female. You don't do that shit. It ain't cool. What's your end game? What was your end game on saying that? What was your end game when trying to make fun of him or whatever? What was your end game? What was the purpose of that? To get a few laughs? You think he's gonna high five? Like, oh yeah, I see it. Yeah, what that what you want? You get your views up. You like I said, your little ass later on. And like, yeah, man, Busta, we cool. I joke with him. Fuck that, dude. He wasn't looking for that. He was trying to be nice, like he said. Take a picture and keep it moving. Now you possibly could have fucked it up for everybody else who genuinely want to take a picture with that man and show love. You possibly fucked that up. Because now he might be like, nah, I don't know how you coming at me. Thank you. Because sometimes one bad apple can spoil a whole bunch. And could deter him being around people who actually want to take a picture with him and genuinely are a fan who loves Busta Rhymes. But these little punk ass Gen Z's or whatever you want to call them, don't respect. You don't. And the funny salesman cat, you were there because the arrow pointed, you was there. And he said, I was there, I wasn't there. Like, dude, you're a liar. You were there, showed you on camera, punk. Be a man, step up. Like, these little punk ass kids, man, they talk all this shit, click-a-clack, clack, click-a-clack, clack, clack on social media, but you get in front of them, you put a camera on them, you get in their face, they're going to scream to their mommy and their daddies or for the court system to protect them. But you can't be doing grown folks shit to grown folks people and expect not grown folks things to happen to you. Again, you lucky the man has some restraint, because that is disrespect. Whether you're taking it too seriously, it's not the point. What was your end game or trying to embarrass that man? What was your end game? You didn't have one, you little piece of shit, because you thought it was funny and you thought it'll get you likes and looks and views and you get some ass later on and you the man. Because I made fun of Busta Rhymes. Tis, tis, and we're not done. And that little punk ass try Busta. They little fucking Gen Zers or whatever you want to fucking call them. They don't know when to shut the fuck up. Busta Rhymes confronts another kid after the Tracy Morgan debacle. This cat says, "Stay black," comment goes south. Busta Rhymes' energy was so sour after being labeled Tracy Morgan by a trolling content creator, he walked down and cursed out the next guy who approached him for a tense confrontation. As you recall, as I said previously, in the video, Busta Rhymes giving a young lad a serious tongue lashing outside the Art Basel event in Miami, which another content creator, GTTV Reality, witnessed. The footage unfolds with Busta sending the TikToker who called him Tracy Morgan on his merry way and shows him then scolding another autograph seeker for calling him the N word. You heard me. He called him the N word. Oh yeah. The N word. Not nice. You know what I'm talking about. Now, GTV attempted to snag a pic for himself, but Busta, already annoyed and delayed from entering the event after dealing with the TikToker, declined to take a pic. The cameraman even tried to create a New York report by screaming he's from the Bronx, and Busta, being from Brooklyn, gave him a handshake and kept it moving and keep it moving along. As Busta was headed into the event inside, GTV repeatedly told him, "Stay black," to which Busta replied, "So what else am I supposed to do? You a clown? You a clown now too?" And shut down the photo op for good. The two kept exchanging words, and the situation escalated to the point that Busta blew past the security and got GTV's face, hurling obscenities, F bombs, P bombs, basically everything but an atomic one. That was Corn who wrote that. Busta eventually went inside before the situation got physical, but things still concluded with a surprise ending. GTV caught up with the TikToker who had called him Tracy Morgan. He admitted to intentionally trolling him for content. And there you have it, folks. Play stupid games, win stupid prizes. And don't call nobody in words, say stay black. There's more to the video. This article is not giving the detail. I've seen the video. The quote read, "Man, you want to act stupid like right along with you." You gotta stop fucking with people, little kids, for content. What's your end game? What's your end game? Oh, you got a couple of views, you get some ass, people pat you on the back, they hoist you on their shoulders, parade you around the classroom, and you doing like this and blowing kisses, and they give you balloons. You can't be fucking with these triple OGs. You can't be doing that. You can't say stay black and you're not black. You can't say the N word and you're not the N word. You know what I mean? And you ain't black, whatever. And try to be cutesy. Again, what is your end game when you do such things? When you say such things, what is your end game? Why would you put yourself in harm's way? Why would you put yourself in a situation that can get you hurt? Sometimes people say, "Fuck the law." You know what I mean? I'm being disrespected. But these little TikTokers think it's cool and think it's like, yeah, well, it's not. Y'all a bunch of goofballs who don't know shit. And again, like I said, social media is the best and worst thing that ever happened. It can be used for good, and a lot of it has been used for bad and heinous shit. again, it's a possibility you could have, for cats who genuinely have love um, for Busta and want to take a picture and converse with him. Again, he might be a little standoffish now, even more than usual, because he don't know how y'all coming at him. You know what I mean? And I don't blame him. You guys are the worst when it comes to it. These content creators who just think it's cute and funny to just to fuck with people. Like you think it's funny. You think it's like it's not. It's not. You know what I mean? You can fuck around and find out. Keep fucking around and find out. You're gonna find out. Watch. You're gonna fuck around and find out that someone who don't care about paying money, who don't care about seeing the courtroom, who don't care about going to jail, who don't care about their career, or care about their fame or fortune, you gonna fuck around and find out. They're gonna go right upside your head. They're gonna beat the shit out of you. And you're gonna realize like, oh, I fucked up. Yeah, you're right. You gotta stop doing that, thinking it's okay to do that, and people are more concerned about their fame and fortune more than anything. You know what I'm saying? Like some people just gonna forget, they lose their composure, they're gonna come after you. And they're gonna I don't know, beat the shit out of you. And that made me think about it later on. However, the bottom line is you gotta stop fucking with people, young people. You got to. These triple OGs, and men, black, white, whatever, male or female. You better think twice. They, us triple OGs have been around for a long time. There's a reason why they're fucking around for a long time, and there's a reason why you motherfuckers don't last long. Think about that. Think about that before you approach someone, whether celebrity or civilian alike, trying to talk down to them or pull their card or whatever the case may be. Think twice before you do that, because you can get a rude awakening. And don't think some of these cats or kittens don't give a fuck about giving up whatever just to prove a point to you that you don't fuck with people like that. You dig? I'm telling you, be mindful. Be mindful. Tyra Banks. Tyra Banks sued for $2.8 million by landlord over ice cream shop lease. A Washington, D.C. landlord has filed a $2.8 million breach of contract lawsuit against Tyra Banks and her ice cream business, Smize and Dream. In the court documents obtained by this article, Christopher Powell claims that he entered into a 10-year commercial lease in April 2024 with Banks, her nonprofit school, Smize, and partner Louis Martin, that would see her open up ice cream shop in D.C. In his DC building. However, he claims that Banks suddenly terminated the lease that summer and is now refusing to pay rent. In his October 9th complaint, Powell claimed that he first met with defendants in March 2024 and agreed to lease them the building as is a month later after learning Banks was building a shop in honor of her mom, Carolyn London. Quote, she said Smiles and Dream would not only be an ice cream shop, but also an initiative to provide underserved youth in Washington with education in science, sales, and hospitality. The filing read. Ms. Banks told Mr. Powell that the D.C. location in the building would be a flagship location of what Ms. Banks envisioned as a global chain serving communities around the world. After collaborating with the defendants on the project, Powell claimed that he saw Banks showcasing their designs for a Smize and Dream Shop opening in Sydney, Australia. Instead, Banks and Martin then abruptly abandoned the premises in June 2024 and refused to pay rent, according to the suit. The complaint noted that Powell had no indication that Ms. Banks and Mr. Martin would desert the venture, especially given they had repeatedly conveyed their dedication to opening Smize and Dreams in his building. However, Powell alleged that the docs that a few in the docks that a few weeks after they abandoned his building, Banks threw a Smiles and Dream pop-up shop just miles away from the property, the lawsuit added. While Mr. Powell scrambled to address the legal and financial fallout from the abandonment, Ms. Banks and Mr. Martin had already launched an alternative Smiles and Dream venture elsewhere while ignoring their legal obligations. While he attempted to reach an amicable, I get out y'all, resolution with the amicable resolution, I got it, with the defendants. At first, Powell claimed in the complaint that he received a letter from Martin and Banks that, quote, lodged numerous false accusations against Mr. Powell, his building, and the lease last September. That made claims of deficiency in the property that are both untrue and irrelevant and threatened to publicize their lies if Mr. Powell filed a lawsuit against them. It read, Ms. Banks, Mr. Martin also stated that even if Mr. Powell filed a lawsuit and it secured a ruling against them, they would not pay any judgment. Instead, they would avoid liability by shifting blame onto the company that they claim has no assets. And it goes on and on how much she's going to owe. Is stuff like this? The first thing you ask is if there's a paper. Is there a paper trail? And if there is a paper trail, why allegedly is Tyra Banks and her partners ignoring it? Because you would think it should be a huge paper trail documenting everything, like signed lease or whatever the case may be, and why did they break it, and so forth. Now, as always, there's her side, his side, and everyone all collectively. 1, 2, 3. Somewhere in the middle is the truth. Exactly. So this is him saying it. We don't know what she sees or her end, but I would think with something like this, there will always should be at least a paper trail stating, like, all right, she signed for this, she's locked in, she can't break this. If she breaks it, there's a penalty. Blah 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 blah. So I'm kind of curious about the paper trail of it all, and if there is a paper trail, why she's breaking it. You know what I mean? Why is she just going against the grain? So I'm very curious about. So we should find out more sooner than later. And of course, you'll hear it here, maybe not here on NYP Entertainment Radio, but who is Kyle Graham somewhere in 2026. Cheap plug. Moving on. Okay. I have Family Matters alum Darius McCrary released from jail 2 months after warrant arrest. Darius McCrary was released from jail 2 months after he was arrested near the U.S.-Mexican border for an outstanding warrant. Over the last 4 years, Mr. McCrary's fight for justice and truth has been painted as an attempt to shirk his responsibilities to his child, the Family Matters actor public defender Paulette Lofton said. The resolution reached today makes it clear that family does matter and that it always has, she added. This resolution allows Mr. McCrary to correct this misleading narrative and put the matter behind him. After the court hearing on Monday, McCrary's rep, Ann Barlow, told the outlet that the actor entered a no-contest plea to all the 5 felony charges and will be sentenced in February. McCrary's 49 was arrested near the U.S.-Mexican border in California on an out-of-state felony charge. At the time, the Next Day Air star was being held in a San Diego jail without bail. His rep told the article that the McCrary warrant came out of Michigan after he missed a court appearance regarding his failure to pay child support. She also claimed McCrary was given an improper serve because the court notice was sent to his P.O. box and was only given 3 days to appear in court. The rep claimed that McCrary had COVID-19 at the time and therefore did not check the P.O. box until the day after the court date. The Christmas in Carolina's actor, who is dad to three children, has had several run-ins with the law over child support. And in November 23, he was arrested for a second time for failure to pay child support because he owed $52,788.04. God damn. In addition to his financial issues, McCrary has been accused of abusing his youngest child. In 2017, the former sitcom star was accused of dangling his youngest daughter over a boiling pot of water. The following year, McCrary's third ex-wife, Tammy Bronner, accused the actor of dislocating their 2-year-old daughter's arm. McCrary denied the allegations. Wow, I remember those stories. Well, listen, he's out, and hopefully, I mean, he'll be sentenced, I guess, in February. Get it together. You know what I mean? I'm not here to judge. Like, I know times are hard, friends of few, and it's their side, his side. So we're in the middle. Everybody is the truth, and you know, the $52,000. God damn, like, dude. Now, granted, I get it. His probably child support is much higher than normal because he's a quote unquote celebrity. So they probably just like, you owe this and this. And here's the thing. I said it before. He's a former celebrity. He's not a celebrity. He's not even an A-list celebrity. He's like C- celebrity. And I'm thinking he wasn't really working like that. But they figure residual checks and all that stuff. A lot of these African American shows don't get high residual checks like the counterparts, like Friends or Seinfeld or whatever. They don't get the high residual checks. They just don't, because we all know why. It's a skin game. You know what I'm saying? Or Living Singles, or Martin, or Jamie Foxx. I'll go on and on. A lot of, you know, African American shows just you don't get the checks, like, don't get the royalty. They get nice residuals, but not as high as the white shows. Simple as that. So they probably assume like, all right, Family Matters for all these years, it's on now. You're making money. Nah, nay, nay. More so to the creators and stuff like that, but not really the actors like that. Not much. They get a nice one, but I don't think it's not as huge as it should be. So hopefully, man, he can get it together. And be the father again to his three kids, and get back on track and get his career back on track, and just be an example. Squash the beef with his ex-wives and the mothers of the kids. You ain't got to be their best friends, but be father to your kids. They need you. They don't need you locked up. You know, get it together, do what you got to do, and hopefully, and I think he will come out better on the other end, and then be the parent that he should be and could be, and so forth. You know what I mean? All right, moving on. Method Man admits he didn't like Drake's Wu-Tang Forever. I wasn't getting on that. Cool, Method Man. Method Man has explained why he rejected Drake's Wu-Tang Clan Forever remixing, admitting he didn't like the song and was confused why it was named after his Cruise blockbuster second album. Appearing on another show, Johnny Blaze revisited the proposed 2013 posse cut, of which Drizzy unsuccessfully attempted to assemble the entire Wu-Tang Clan. Quote, I like Drake. I think he's a dope artist. He puts out some great music, obviously. Otherwise, he wouldn't be as big as he is, Meth began. But when he sent the record, we were overseas, and, you know, some brothers were trying to write to it. And I'm sitting there like, I don't like it. I was like, what does this have to do with Wu-Tang Clan Forever? I'm not questioning his artistic ability or anything. I'm just saying, from my perspective, it was more or less, I'm not getting on that. You got briefly share his side of the story in a 2014 interview with MTV News, revealing that a difference in subject matter is why the remakes never happened. Quote, I guess we kind of came too hard for him. He wanted to talk about broads, but at the time we weren't in no broad mode. We were hard body he said. We were hard body at the time, he said. I think later on I said to myself, what the hell was I rhyming about? I was rhyming some hardcore shit. He wanted to talk about some bitches. We got the track last minute. We only had about 6 hours to write this thing. He was talking about something totally different, so the subject matter didn't really mesh. Expect that also addressed the situation on another show in 2015, arguing that Drake's track did not represent the Wu-Tang Clan. Drake claimed that the Wu-Tang Forever did not directly sample the Wu-Tang Clan's "It's Yours," but instead sampled "It's Yours" by Tila Rock and Jazzy J, which provided the basis for Wu-Tang versions. Uh, However, the sampling in there didn't make it okay. It's officially Wu-Tang to me. He said it don't represent what we are saying with "It's Yours," so I didn't understand how this was a dedication to Wu-Tang. Said um, Inspector Deck. Well, look, being honest, I never heard the song. I'm not a big Drake fan. I take nothing from him. I'm not, I'm just not. Only maybe one or two songs from him, but I'm not a big Dreezy fan. Um, well, they listened to it. They didn't like it. They got the right not to be on it. Don't mean anything. Again, people have that right not to like something. People have that right to disagree and have an opinion, and they weren't feeling it. It didn't make sense to them. It didn't. It was something. It was just like, Meth was like, I'm not feeling that. I'm not really feeling this. I don't want to be on it. So he has that right, and I get it. And if it was dope, he would have been on it. And it wasn't dope. He was like, nah, he picked and choose. There's nothing against him. I just wasn't feeling it. Simple as that. I don't think there's nothing wrong with that. They're being honest, and especially if the track has nothing to do with Wu-Tang Clan, then why be on it? From what it sounds like, I haven't heard it. I'm not trying to hear it. I'm not a Drake fan. And from what I understand, they're like, all right, this has nothing to do with us. He's talking about something else. Why is it called Wu Tang Forever and it's not referencing us? Whatever. Sometimes in an artist's mind, meaning Drake, to him it might mean something, and speaking through his art or whatever, and people might not understand it, you know. And they didn't see it. They wasn't feeling it. And they got the right to feel that way. So uh, I ain't mad at them. And I don't think no one should take it personally. They have the right to. You have the right to turn someone down. He didn't diss him. He was like, "I'm just not getting on it. I'm not feeling it," and that's that. It's okay to say that, and it's okay. And if you get butthurt over that, then you gotta get thicker skin, Drake. But at the end of the day, they're all making money, and it didn't work out. Maybe try again down the line with another track. Who knows? All right, last but not least, Nas and DJ Premier shared track list for a new album, Light Years. Nas and DJ Premier long-awaited collaborative album Light Years will mark the end of Master Pill's Legend Has It series. Nas and DJ Premier has shared the 15-song track list for the upcoming collaborative album Light Years. The project will feature a single guest appearance by AZ on the song. I said that. And the song is dope. My Story, Your Story also includes a third part of Nas' iconic song New York State of Mind. He previously dropped a second part of the album, I Am, in 1999. Nas and J. I'll get out. Nas and DJ Premier has been hinting at working on a collaborative project for well over a decade at this point. Speaking to Rolling Stone back in October, Nas confirmed that a couple of the ideas they had during previous attempts to get the project to come to fruition will appear on Light Years. Quote, I'm going to say at least two of those ideas happened on this album. We didn't get a chance to do them when we were talking about them. But we finally got a chance to put those recordings together this year, he said. Light Years will mark the conclusion of Nas' ongoing Legend Has a series for Master Pill when it releases December 12th, which has already released. For the series, Nas has been helping release new projects from Ghostface Killah, Raekwon, Mobb Deep, De La Soul, Big L, and Slick Rick. Elsewhere, during an aforementioned interview in Rolling Stones, Nas discuss the critically acclaimed album series is 1995 all over again. Now says sometimes I feel like 2025 was that feeling. It's not going backwards. It's going forward. Though it's that feeling of urgency and that vibration, the celebration of life in these songs, in these albums, what they meant 30 years ago, it's still thriving right now. Even from younger people, they're all derivatives of the early sound. And these artists here, from Slick Rick, he is the reason that all of us even have a pen in our hands. You look at him and you think of Mobb Deep, you think of Raekwon and Ghostface. De La Soul is some of the most different, brave, bold, intelligent hip hop music ever made. You continue, and of course, we lost some of our brothers along the way, but we're still representing them, and they're still representing themselves through the series. It's a celebration of great impact, a standard that they set that we could never forget because it keeps us aiming higher. The series is to encourage and inspire hip hop and remind us all of the pureness of hip hop. I hope that we will. I hope that we will. I hope that we can. I hope that we will all. What? Let me get that line right. I hope that we will all can do this together. Had to get that out. Took me a while to get it. I heard my story, your story, and it AZ and had that flaw, and I kind of already knew that the single Gusty period would be AZ because that's Nas' boy. This is the same cat who Illmatic came out, picked an obscure dude from Brooklyn no one ever heard of and put him on his album. And at the time when Nas came out, everybody names, big names wanted to be on there. And Nas picked this AZ cat no one ever heard of and put him on his first album. And they got that chemistry, dude. And My Story, Your Story is dope. The beat is dope by DJ Premier. They're going back and forth. That's good music, man. That's good music there. I'm a try to listen. It's 15 track. I'm gonna listen to other tracks, but I heard that track on my timeline. I looked it up, listened to it. I'm a big AZ fan. I love Nas, and because he's probably one of the greatest producers, and they have that bond, that connection. They just go back and forth. So check it out, Light Years, streaming now on Spotify, where you can also watch and listen to this episode of NYPA Entertainment Radio. All right, folks, with that being said, I'm going to let you go. Thank you for letting me entertain you this week. Get at me on Facebook, Kyle Graham, and as of right now, at NYPA ENT Radio on Instagram. Email me at nypaentertainment@gmail.com. All that's going to change to who is Kyle Graham in 2026. Press the subscribe button for this episode and others as we are getting close to closing out the book of NYP Entertainment Radio and open up a new one for Who is Kyle Graham. Next week, I'll give you the final date and the beginning date of each show. Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, again, thank you for joining me today. I hope you enjoyed yourselves, and I did my part to entertain you the best ways possible. Get a reaction out of you, angry or not, or sad or whatever. Get at me. Stay warm. It's cold. Holiday season here. If you're on the East Coast, the Midwest, it's freezing. And that's it. Believe whatever higher power you believe in. Take it day by day, man. It's rough out there. I know life be life, and you're going through something. Just hang in there, man. Just hang in there. It'll work itself out. You know what I mean? That's it. Hopefully my audio's not messed up because my Wi-Fi is going in and out. So it might be some dead spots. I'm gonna try to edit it out, but just give me a heads up. Technology. Well, that's it. I'll see you next week. NYPA Entertainment Radio. How do you think this thing is going? Let me try something else, y'all. Technology. Delayed. Love you guys. See you next week. NYPA Entertainment Radio.